Hello, this is Wmpyr here to talk about an important Filipino concept in the Filipino martial arts, especially when we're talking about Kia, which is Kali, Escrima, Arnis. And in it, the concept is this: the anti-knife weapon. The premier anti-knife weapon is none other than the stick. And that's why in Kia, we do a lot of stick training. So if you think about that, right, then the anti-knife is the stick. Okay, so that was told to me by a Filipino that I met on an airplane, actually. And he said, yeah, that's why we do a lot of stick stuff in the Filipino martial arts, because every Filipino knows that the stick is the anti-knife weapon. And I thought that was very, very interesting. So the old school thought that the stick is the anti-knife weapon, and if you think about it that way, then you also start to understand why. Why is it so? Well, because the stick obviously has reach over the knife, right? So you could use your reach to your advantage and keep the person with the knife away from you. It makes perfect sense. Okay, so then the knife is also the anti-stick weapon. If a person has a knife and the other person has a stick, then it's about the distance. So if the person with the knife is able to get in close, then that person's going to have the advantage. If the person with the stick is able to keep the distance, then that person has the advantage. So it is a yin and yang relationship with the stick and the knife. In other words, if you study the two of them, you get a full picture. And if you only study one, you only study knife or you only study stick, then you're only getting half the picture. If you really want to understand your tool, then you should understand the strengths and also its weaknesses. So the stick's weaknesses has a lot to do with the knife, and the knife's weaknesses has a lot to do with the stick. Okay, so therefore, in order to have a good understanding of Kia, study both, all right? Now, here in the West, I think the perspective is a little bit different. And if someone, is like, okay, the bad guy has a knife, well, I'm going to use my pistol. That's probably the mentality, right? And what I want to say to that, okay, is if you're going to use your pistol, why stop there? Why not use a shotgun? Why not use an assault rifle? Why not use a sniper rifle? Why not use a bazooka, a grenade, a missile launcher, a rocket launcher? It just keeps going and going and going. Why am I saying that? And you might be going, that's not what I said. I said pistol. You're greatly exaggerating. No, what I'm saying is, my point is, the stick is the most minimal tool. Minimalistic wise, it is the most minimal tool that you could have and still successfully defend against a knife. Now, it's possible to defend yourself against someone with a knife using a handkerchief, but that's probably more on the rare side if you can pull that off. But the stick, I think the Filipinos found that you have it's more consistent and you have a higher success rate. Is there anything less than a stick? And their answer, I don't think they were able to find anything. So they recommend the stick as a consistent, more on the reliable side. Nothing's 100% reliable or guaranteed, but they found the stick to be the answer against the knife. And like I said, minimalistically, we're not talking about maximizing, because then just drop a bomb on the guy, right? Something like that. But that's not impressive. That is not practical most of the time. So that's why the stick is very, very interesting. And that's why I believe they focus on the stick. And I believe to this day, with today's technology, the Filipinos still have it right and the stick to me is still one solid answer. Like you could look at, for example, pepper spray. Okay, and pepper spray. Now, while I'm not saying it's not effective, I think it can be effective. But if they start charging in on you, then it really starts to become scary, because you really have nothing to, block them off and try to help you get that distance and to strike and, swing and, create, once again, that space. The pepper spray can only create this cloud, and if they, muscle through that, they already got through. So pepper spray combined with something like a collapsible baton, but then we're coming right back to the idea of the collapsible baton that's a stick. So I feel that the stick is one heck of a solid answer. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.